What's up, my YouTube world? Miss Perfect on 11 checking in with you. Update with me. I have been laid off. I know. And, the week they were doing layoffs, everybody was having a fit. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. Da, 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 da. And I was like the one that was so laid back, even though I know last hire, first fire. Come on now. I know this. So, everybody all worried and shit. I just pretty much told them, like, I've been surviving Texas off nothing but hope and faith from the moment I arrived in Texas almost 2 years ago, before I got to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'm not going to sit here and stress something that God already has in His will that's planned for me. I'm not going to do it. But, so I've been laid off. I can honestly survive out here without working right away. I filed my taxes, getting a nice little chunk of change back from that. Got my last check, nice little amount. You know what I'm saying? Since I was laid off, I'm eligible for unemployment, 90% of my pay rate. So I'm still looking at making about $1,500-$1,600 a month. So yeah, I could survive out here. But my daughter, man, she wakes up crying for her nanny. She go to sleep crying for her nanny. Throughout the day, I find her just like zoned off with this sad look on her face. When I ask her what's wrong, she's crying for her nanny, who is back in Chicago. So I'm like, since I'm already laid off, I already have my money flow coming in. Why not just go back to Chicago with it? So that's what it seemed like I'm gonna do. Like I said, I already found my taxes. I'm waiting on my change to come back from that. I already filed for my unemployment. And once the shit get the rolling, I'm on the road. I'm back to Chicago during the middle of the winter. So then I want to go back during the winter, but hey. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm giving up. I had some people say to me, "Oh, so you're just going to give up that easy?" Honestly, I don't feel as though I've given up. For those who don't know the background of my stay here in Texas, let me inform you, it was not peaches and cream. I came down here with blood relatives that turned out not to be family. I've been, goddamn it, pretty much asked out, not knowing anyone, not being able to know anything, unfamiliar with everything that was around me. I could have packed up and went to Chicago when I packed up and moved from there, but instead I said no. I'm gonna go to a different part of Texas where I have different family at, that I know for a fact that even though they're blood relatives, they're family. Got me a job, got my crib, got a car, sitting pretty. But now that I've lost, or should I say been laid off of that other job, I guess people feel as though I should be back on the grind job hunting. Why am I going to look for something that is constantly bringing my little mama unhappiness? Before we moved to Texas, my child was well-mannered, which she still is. Don't get it twisted. My baby is very well-mannered. But now the slick comments that she think don't nobody know, because she's mimicking what she hear my relatives say. You know what I'm saying? And her tone, and I can tell her attitude, like she's starting to show off things that show unhappiness within a child that cannot express they're unhappy. I'm seeing that. And before I see that, I see her sadness, and I hear her saying she wants my mom. So I'm going to put beside what I feel like I could do, because I feel like I could stay out here and keep living, but I'm going to put that aside for my child's well-being, for my child's happiness, and just being, even if it's being back in Chicago with her nanny, just to be back in Chicago with her nanny. Guess what? It's going to make my baby happy. It's going to stop her from all the sadness, and in a way, it's going to put me back in a peace of mind, the comfort of my surrounding, of what I know. I'm not one to stay stuck in the same frame of mind, so that's how I was even able to come out here. And I'm going to take what I learned from this experience out here and apply it to Chicago when I go back. It's not like I wasn't successful in Chicago. I have my pharmacy technician license, worked as a pharmacy technician, going to go back and work as a pharmacy technician again, and go back to school for my doctor's in pharmacy so I could be a pharmacist doing research for a newfound drug. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. So, you know, instead of staying out here, because honestly, when I left Donna, Westlaco, and I came here, I put myself in so much debt living here. To where I feel like I should have went back home. None of this extra debt would have accumulated. And it don't help when pretty much the only family you have out here tell you 90% of what you say can't be believed. First of all, in my opinion, I don't feel like I gave you any reason to doubt anything that came out of my mouth. I kept it upfront and 100 with you all the time. Now, because of a situation with my significant other, my wife, and a dog, you want to sit here, 90% of what I say, what come out of my mouth you can't believe? To each his own. If that's how you feel about it, auntie, then that's how you feel. I'm sorry you feel that way, but honestly, I've never gave you anything to feel that way about. If you want to look at past, I was a fucking child. 14 fucking years old. Just lost my grandmother. My mother couldn't contain me, so she sent me to you. Do you honestly think you're going to be able to tame me? Come on now. I'm grown now. I am my own person. I'm going to make my own decision. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. Now, if you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. But that don't give you no type of right to sit here and say you can't believe 90% of what come out of my mouth. You want to tell me, I need to get out of my Chicago mentality. My Chicago mentality is what made me the woman I am. And granted, just like every other human being, I have my flaws and I have things that I'm working on. But you cannot tell me that the person that's in front of you is not a worthy person, is not an honorable person. Like, come on. Like, let's be for real. But to each his own. You believe what you want to believe. And honestly, I feel like since you believe that way, I'm once again back on my own. Because granted, you'll always look out for my shorty. But that's for my shorty. And by you looking out for my shorty, honestly, you looking out for me. But technically, if you don't believe shit that I say, how can you wholeheartedly look out for me? How could you wholeheartedly want to stand behind me? And since you came, back on my own. And since my little mama want to be back on my mama anyway, why not go back? Well, motherfucker will believe 100% of what I say. Even when they know I'm lying. Because to make it so bad, and I hate to sound like Al Pacino and Scarface, but I always tell the truth. Even when I'm lying. Because my lies stem from the truth. I just twisted it, misconstrued it, and make it sound so much more better than what it was. So that way you wouldn't have a problem. But it doesn't even matter, So I'll probably be making my next video on the road. I'm going to go buy me another camera so that way I wouldn't have to keep doing it off my phone. At least that way, like, the video and audio can match up. But I just wanted to get back on for my YouTube real half session with you. Even though technically I don't have no coworkers to get on and spot this, I still just don't need nobody in my business. It is what it is. So, Miss Perfect 111, 8714s, we in here. It is what it is, and I'm out of here. Deuces.